So you created that phrase, Queersapien. That's also the title of that book, where you
Yeah.
explain becoming a Queersapien is not a revolution, but actually an evolution of the self, a nation and its people. So here's my question. What is the biggest challenge that India as a country faces on its way to becoming a country of Queersapiens?
See, I think freedom in this country is exceedingly precious. So if you get it, it's this is hardly few really experience choice. You have one big hurdle, which is caste.
Mhm.
Okay, and with caste comes class, and the other big hurdle is the patriarch. We're a country that still ruled, governed, and sort of completely controlled in many, many, many ways by men. And when you look at men, you also look at the caste advantage of those men, by and large.
Mhm.
So I think that's the biggest problem that we have. We have the problem of a male lens on everything, by and large. Obviously, there's a change coming. The change is coming, let's say, with OTT sort of serials that we find the women's lens out there. You're seeing the women's role change. That itself is a form of queering the construct. And that itself is changing the notion of who the man is. And it's not like they're dumbing down the men at all. They're actually giving them a place to be more than who they've imagined themselves to be. So there aren't any heroes per se in so many of the serials that you get to see, even so many of the movies that you get to see, and you see queer characters in terms of a sexuality part of being queer. You see them emerging in different spots and places and a certain kind of normalization. But that again is part of a digital divide of this nation where there's a certain section who have access to that,
Right.
access to that sort of thinking uh, lens and appreciation of people and their choices to just be. So I think queering is a long process for our nation and for a large number of people. We have to get out of the idea of conformity
Mhm.
to everything. One idea of success, one idea of music, one idea of art, one idea of expression, one idea of a language of supremacy, you know, and one idea of just being, of choosing, of who you love, and if you don't want to love or just want to love yourself to start with.
Mhm.
I think queering is all of those sort of things to break those notions and expand the world. And I think queering is nature.
Mhm.
You know, it is the ability to accept fluidity, the ability to realize that every tree is not in one shape and
Mhm.
size, and it needs the space to grow. It's not one of those manicured, uh, gated colonies where every tree is put to size, every bush has to be at a certain size. Oh no, no, that's aesthetics of control,
Mm.
and we have to break those sort of ideas. And I think people also have to realize that with the fears they have, they fear that when you break these, it is disorder. No, it's diversity. I think the opposite of order is diversity.
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah.
it is, and that's queer.
I love that. I love that phrase. The opposite of order is not disorder or disarray, but diversity.
94.3 Radio 1.